Super Bowl champions.
E-A-T-L-E-S, swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. For the lead. Yes! Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Yeah.
Welcome in, welcome back. What up?
What up? Philly was coming.
Long time no see.
I know, man. I know.
AKA Monday night.
Yeah. Been busy.
Popped on for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Shout out to our guys over at Fired Up, right?
Anybody check Dom's cholesterol? I mean, not his cholesterol, his blood pressure.
Oh my God.
My man was hot.
Dom was about to bust the blood vessel and jump right through the screen.
He was sweating. He was so heated. He couldn't stop. He was about to kill everybody. It's like, sorry, bro. I want Bijan Robinson. My bad.
Yeah.
It's not, dude, there's nothing wrong with adding to this offense. Like, do you want an unstoppable offense? Yes, I want an unstoppable offense. Can we predict injuries? No, we can't predict injuries. But guess what? I don't know why this is still playing. Sorry. But guess what?
That's not my job.
That's not my job. And how many guys have we seen come out and not get injured in the pros? A lot.
A bunch.
It happens. Like, sometimes, college, you get beat up. Because it's you running the ball X amount of times a game. It's
right.
you. It's just you. It's not the same thing as the pros. Like, guys come in, they have injury concerns. Okay, great. Do I want a guy who could be unstoppable on the Eagles running behind that line? Yes. The Jordan Howard point. Jordan Howard looked great, but Jordan Howard also doesn't have the skill set that Bijan Robinson has.
Listen, here's my point. And obviously, like, we talked about that for 10 minutes. But we didn't get kind of in-depth with it at all. If Miles Sanders, and to take Dom's point, right, if Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard and Boston Scott and Kenny Gainwell, if they look as good as they do behind this offensive line with this offense.
Yeah.
Imagine what a guy who's got elite level talent.
Yeah.
And Rich, are you familiar with the 33rd team at all? The website, it's like partially a Joe Banner-ish project, but like they do a lot of really cool statistical analysis, but they don't it's not like deep dive stuff, but it's like they put out they've been doing their player rankings, mock draft 4.2, whatever. But today they put out their big board.
Okay.
Bijan Robinson is the number 6 player on that big board.
Yeah.
If you can move back or move up from one of those two spots to the mid-teens and you get that guy, what that brings to your offense
is unstoppable.
It does exactly what you were talking about. And you just essentially just outscore teams.
Yeah. Do what the Chiefs did. We couldn't stop the Chiefs' offense. Their defense wasn't that great. Our defense was elite all year. But it's hard to stop an elite offense. Yeah. Imagine putting Bijan Robinson back there. Because, you're taking him out or you have him and Gainwell. It's like, okay, when Gainwell comes in, it's a passing down. You can start with Gainwell and then bring in Robinson, and you don't know what to expect. You got two guys who can run and catch the ball. Like, come on. Who do we just like? Rashad Penny can't catch the ball. Like, that's just, it's going to be predictable when he's in the game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's like, all right, they're going to run the ball. So they're not throwing it to Rashad Penny.
At the owners' meetings, I heard that they were talking a lot. I heard Nick Sirianni at one point talking a lot about Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
Right. And but like the people that we have right now are just guys.
Yeah.
they are not guys that have potential to be elite level talent.
And look what the Jets did. They drafted Michael Carter in the second or third round. And they're like, oh, he's the next guy. He had a great year. Then Breece Hall was there. And look what Breece Hall did with the Jets.
And he steps right in.
And is a monster.
Is a monster impact player from day one.
Yeah. And Bijan Robinson could be the same. Why can't he be? That's what and that makes your offense better. And the more you're scoring, and you do the same thing as the Chiefs do. You just score at will. You pray to get a stop. Then you score at will again. You pray to get a stop. You score at will again. All it takes is one stop, and then you're up 14 points. You score a touchdown, you get a stop, okay? Score, boom. Now it's 14-0.
And listen, they essentially had that. They had that whole scenario set up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't fumble, they have the potential to be going into the halftime up 17 or more.
Yeah. And it's a completely different game.
And it's an entirely different game.
Chris, to answer your question, Zeke is going nowhere. If Zeke goes somewhere, he's going to be like a 2 or a 3 because Zeke is shot, my friend. And
Chris, wherever you're sitting, look to your left. Is there an empty spot there? That's where he should be.
That's where Zeke should be.
That's where he should be because at this point, you've seen the best of him already. Whatever you're going to get is going to be some ridiculous shell of whatever he was. And I mean, he's not old, but he's football old.
Yeah.
And
he's not 18.
He's the equivalent, Rich, of like the fancy car at the car rental place.
Oh yeah.
That got rented and just somebody took it out, drove it to New York for a day, drove it home, did about 127 on the Garden State Parkway, and then they drop it back off. But then that happened year after year after year. He's never going to be a productive player. And you saw that last year, right? Yeah. Tony Pollard essentially just kind of pushed him aside and just said, I got this.
Yeah. They fed Zeke too much, and he cost them too much money, and now they have to let him go. So Zeke stays, and that's it. See you, Zeke.
All right. Peace. Rich, did you hear Mike's scenario about his ideal draft scenario?
I didn't.
So what he suggested was a lot of the guys that we've already talked about in the last couple of shows, right? So his idea is that you draft Jalen Carter if he's available.
Yeah.
At 10.
Okay.
And then you look at some point to trade up from 31 into that mid-20s if Bijan Robinson is still on the board.
Okay.
Which
I'm fine with both of that.
Listen, whatever they choose to do with those picks, they're going to get talent.
Yeah.
And they're going to get high-level talent.
Yeah.
And they're adding it to a base that is already really strong.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I think there's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. I want to try to trade with the team who's in like the early teens who's going to suck next year, because then the following year, let's get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah. That dude is built differently.
No, he would have been the best player like coming out if he was eligible this year. That's how good
I believe that 100%. He is immensely talented. He just does whatever he wants on whatever level of talent he's been. Like when he was playing here in the city in high school, he kind of just did whatever he wanted. And then he goes to Ohio State and just picks up right where he left off.
Elite. Absolutely elite. But I'm happy with Carter and Robinson later. I mean,
right, I'm gonna read you the picks after look at the picks, and I'm trying to find the draft order without any of these like dumb like trade backs. All right, so after the Eagles at 10, Tennessee, Houston at 12, the Jets, the Patriots, the Packers, the Commanders at 16, Steelers, Lions, Bucks, Seahawks. Any of those teams look like a team that could be at the bottom, be at the top of the draft board next year that you could potentially swap picks with?
Texans,
Right.
Steelers, maybe. They're not really sold on their quarterback situation.
They're not.
Kenny
But
Pickett.
I've heard Lamar as a potential that could be. I know it's interdivision, but that could be a team that could be
Whoever gives them two ones, you know.
Exactly.
Seattle's probably going to be really good this year because of that division. Besides the 49ers, so I would say,
What about the Patriots? Because that division is stacked.
Yeah.
You're looking at
they don't have a quarterback either.
Right. They don't have a quarterback. And you're going to play in a division with Josh Allen, Tua, and Aaron Rodgers.
Whenever that happens.
Right. Whenever that happens, but that could be a potential. They could be sitting in the that top third of the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all good stuff. But Rich, to propose a trade for you, right? Okay. There's a lot of conversation, right? Jeffrey Simmons is a guy from Tennessee. He's in the last year of his deal. Monster D tackle.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like prime Fletcher Cox.
Okay.
Like just a guy who's a game wrecker. And I think he can be had for, I think, maybe a 1+.
Yeah, but then you got to re-sign him. And he's going to want boo-goo dollars, like more than probably what Hargrave got. So is that worth it? Or do you just draft one and hold on to him for 4 years? Because some of these contracts are just getting out of hand. Like Hargrave was good, yes, but he's on the wrong side of 30. And he just got paid how much guaranteed? So I don't know if I'm actually doing that for a 1 because I'm not paying him.
Right.
And I guarantee it's going to be one of those situations where he walks at the end because the Eagles are like, so I'm not trading a 1 for a guy. Yes, he's incredible. He has immense talent. But if you can't afford to sign him, why trade?
Yeah, and I think with the Hurts extension coming out, right, that they're going to look to maximize as many of those rookie deals as you can, right? Look at all the guys that they've signed this offseason. All those contracts are all 1-year deals. They're all 1 year, $1+ million, maybe $2 million. They're all young guys that are on, not prove it deals, but they're on, they're young guys coming off the first contract where it wasn't necessarily an ideal performance.
Yeah.
Try to get, the kid that they bring in from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I like Terrell Evans.
So do I. I like him in the box.
That's a great pick. That was a great pickup. And he's cheap as shit. 1 year, $2 million.
And you could probably, at this point, Rich, you could probably pencil him in for, with him and Blankenship. You're probably going to pencil those two guys in. I don't hate it. I like him more in the box than I do in coverage. But he can play. That is kind of the role that Gardner Johnson played.
Yeah.
He played that in the box safety.
Gardner Johnson shot himself in the fucking foot. He's a moron. His agent's an idiot.
And how about the fact that they put all of that contract out, all that contract information out for public?
Yeah. He's essentially making 1 year, $6 million.
Right. It just they played that whole scenario completely wrong.
Yeah.
They thought that market was going to be there for him, and it just never was.
And the Eagles offered him a hell of a deal.
They did. They offered it was a multi-year deal. What was it? 3? It was 3 at 20.
Yeah, 3 at 20 or 3 at like 2024.
and I don't know, Rich, if what it appears to be is that he got a little butthurt at that first. Didn't think that the contract that he got offered at the very beginning from the Eagles was something that put his value in place.
So you take 1 year, $6 million with Detroit,
and then but I think at that point, I think he checks out and was like, "Fuck it, if they don't value me now, coming off the season that I had." When in reality, when you look back at the contract that they offered, they did value him. I think he just got so butthurt by overvaluing what he thought he was going to get and said, well, fuck them. I'm not going back there. I'm going to go see what I can get. And then he walked out into the market and was like,
barren.
There's nothing here.
The same thing with the wide receiver market this year. The wide receiver market's the same thing. Like, all the markets dried up and it went right back to defensive linemen.
Yeah, you're right.
It's what happens. It's interesting, but at the same time, it's like, damn. Like, it would have been nice. If I'm the Eagles, I would have signed DJ Chark as my number 3. I thought that would have been a good pickup. He went to Carolina, I believe, but like that would have been a nice pickup for a slot guy. DJ Chark would have been cool because you need another number 3 because Quez is fucking terrible. Just a guy who can fucking catch the ball would be nice. But, we head into it in the draft, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles did look at it and say, okay, yes, we do like defensive linemen. But what if they did? What if they went wide receiver and running back and they gave Hurts? Imagine having a stud rookie wide receiver and Bijan Robinson. Like, lining up 3 wide, 1 running back, and Dallas Goedert. Like, good luck. They would literally be telling the NFL, good luck.
Yeah, pick your poison, figure out who you can get.
We're just going to score at will. Because essentially,
who's the kid from Ohio State? The hyphenated name, Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, JNG or JND. What's his name?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah,
is that it?
JSG.
That's a guy that they can get in that back half of the first round. Like, you just put a ton of guys around them, guys that can just catch the ball. It's not their MO. Their MO, Rich, all of this talk about adding weapons.
JSN, Jackson Smith. Yep. So that would be insane.
Right, but like it like, to be completely honest, everything that we're talking about is all completely nonsense hypothetical, because in reality, what will probably happen is that they probably draft an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman at both of those spots.
Of course.
But
we're okay.
We can dream. We can dream.
It'd be nice to see that.
Rich, I know this is something we've touched on before, right? We got to circle back. The Kelly Green is coming back.
I'm very excited for that.
I am too.
About damn time.
It's
about damn time.
But for all the people that are out there thinking they didn't win anything with that uniform, it carried, they're remembering Richie Kotite and they're remembering all. Yes, correct. Yeah. If you look back historically, they didn't win anything in that Kelly Green. But that is the original color of the franchise.
Yes.
And I will say, Rich, and it took me a while to kind of circle around this, but like, that's when all the calluses happened.
Mm-hmm.
All the calluses that make Eagles fans as diehard as they are, all happened in that era. And for every ounce of like the negativity part, there are a ton of great moments in those uniforms.
I mean, I just wanted the Kelly Green to be back for a long time, and I'm just extremely happy that it's back now. It's just remembering like the Eagles of old. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it sucks that they had to get away from it. Who gives a shit if they didn't win anything? Those jerseys are just fucking fire. Like, they're just fucking good looking.
The Kelly Green with that slate silver.
Yeah, dude. Like, just a fucking great jersey. Like, I don't give a shit if we didn't win anything with it. I mean, then burn all the jerseys and come up with a new one for half the teams who haven't won shit.
Yeah, you're right. Listen,
Doesn't matter.
Newsflash, Flyers.
Yeah, burn all your jerseys.
We could spice something up here. Good God.
Could you?
Yeah, we could. All right, Rich, let's switch gears here. Got opening day tomorrow.
That's exciting.
I like the fact that they don't have this like dumb opening series that like is in Japan where they play like 3 games before the actual season starts. So like everybody starts tomorrow, you know, come 1:00, you're going to have games on the East Coast. And then as the day progresses, you know, the Phillies play 4:00 Eastern time, but it'll just be baseball all day long. Everybody's playing tomorrow. Talk to me about opening day. Cause it's great to kind of kick off the next season.
Yeah.
Based on the way that the season played out, right? You're the defending National League champs. I think there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah. I mean, Trey Turner has been a monster. Ooh. So let him stay hot. Schwarber doing the Schwarber bombs. Hopefully Castellanos stays lit. Sucks what happened to Reese. Not a big fan, you know, but you never want to see a guy go down like that. But hey, Derek Hall steps up. So let's see what happens, man. It's going to be an interesting year, and I'm here for it. I'm excited for it. I do my typical. I'm going to watch the first series in depth and probably not watch again for another 2 months and just catch up on highlights because baseball season's so long. But stay glued and see what's going on. I'm just kidding. I just want to know. I don't know what to expect much from the pitching staff behind, you know, Wheeler, Nola, and Ranger, but I'm here for it. Let's see what happens. This bullpen is gas throwers, so it's going to be pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, and listen, Rich, I think the first guy that you mentioned, right, is we're not breaking any news here. Trey Turner is going to change the way that this team plays. Yeah. And I think you saw that in the World Baseball Classic with him batting at the back end of that lineup. In the 6-7 hole, you know, uberly productive with guys on base. He gets on base, steals bases, makes things happen. I think you're going to see how that elite level talent, you know, where he sets the table, which we haven't had a guy like that, to be honest, Rich, since the last time where they were in the World Series, like in 08, 09, with that stretch when you had guys like Rollins and Utley at the top of the lineup. But the way that they, you know, with the new rules, with the shift, I think he's a guy that is going to be able to cover more ground in the middle of the field. Yep. And now you've got your double team tandem for the next 10 years. Yeah. Right, you put Stott out there at second. You got Trey Turner at short. You know, it does. What happens with Reese kind of sucks. It does lend itself to have some flexibility now with that lineup, because now first base is going to be a flexible spot. Yep. DH is going to be a flexible spot. Third base is going to be a flexible spot. I think you're going to see some combination of, like, you know, if Bohm slides over to first, Sosa plays third. Sosa's like that, you know, the jack of all trades, the guy that is really going to play anywhere. They had him in spring training in center field, right? They're just trying to figure out ways to get him in the lineup, get him on the field. There's just a lot to be excited about. Even with Reese going down, I think the news that Harper, it doesn't go on the 60-day DL, tells you that he may be back sooner than when they thought he might be, which is great because the second you get him back in this lineup,
it's ridiculous.
It just gets even better. The starting pitching is going to be where they're really going to need to get guys that eat innings. Yeah. I think, you know, with Suarez not starting the year healthy, it's not where you want it to be, right? You don't, you know, you start the year with Noel Wheeler and Taijuan Walker, right? But then after that, there's a significant drop off, right? Because then you're talking about Bailey Falter and Matt Strahm. Right. So,
Bailey Falter. Oh,
So
good.
I think the sooner that you can get guys healthy,
Yeah.
the better those guys are, right? Suarez then slots into the 4 spot. It puts, it slides Matt Strom out of that starting lineup. Bailey Falter is a guy that you saw have flashes in the postseason last year. But, Rich, the thing that I'm most excited about outside of Trey Turner is the last thing you talked about. Do they have just a lighter and gasoline?
It's going to be fucking great to watch. I can't wait to see these guys come out and just shed all day.
Just guys that are just going to come out and just throw gas, right? That Gregory Soto deal where they essentially give up 2 bench pieces.
Yeah. Moniak,
and they get a guy.
Moniak and who else?
No, Moniak was in the – that was the Marsh deal. But it was Matt Vierling and somebody else in the daycare.
Yeah.
But they got these guys. These guys, they were able to replace those bench pieces. But you're talking about Sir Anthony Dominguez, Jose Alvarado, Gregory Soto, Craig Kimball, Connor Brogdon, Yoram Marte. You got Andrew Bellotti, Andrew Vasquez. But you have, out of all those guys, you've got 6 guys that are going to come in and throw 95 plus.
Yeah.
And be able to spot pitches. Now, listen, will Alvarado throw one to the backstop every once in a while? Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's why we're watching them.
But the next pitch is probably going to be a slider that's going to drop off the side of the plate to get to get the strikeout. I love where this team is. I love how Dombrowski has kind of retooled. But you got veteran guys on the bench. Right? Edmundo Sosa is a guy who was on the bench, is going to be elevated. But you got guys like Josh Harrison, guys that have played in the big leagues before.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Jake Cave, who just had – he's a young guy, had a great spring training.
Nice.
But, so talk about Castellanos, because Castellanos is the guy that's going to have – with the Reese injury, that's the guy that – is going to have to probably step up the most in terms of production.
Yeah, he needs to bounce back because last year he was fucking bad. But it's the same thing. His first year in Cincy, he wasn't that great. Second year, he fucking mashed. So, same thing in Detroit. He's just one of those guys. He's got to get hot. He's got to figure it out. Get rid of there's no pressure on him, and just come in and do what you do. Hit fucking baseballs. Hit them really far and hit for average. He was missing the average piece, and then he was just slumping, swinging and everything. The discipline was just terrible. He just needs to change his approach. Change your approach, be calm at the plate, and hit your pitch. I think he was just trying way too hard when he's packed in a lineup with a bunch of maulers. And now it's time for him to take a step back, watch tape of last year and see how terrible your at-bats were, and do the opposite. Be the ball player that you were signed to be.
Right.
And he'll be fine. It's just don't try to overachieve and stretch yourself. Just go out there, have fun, play the game, and hit the ball really far so you don't have to run.
Right. And I think you saw a little bit of that in the postseason.
A little.
Not enough. Right. But you saw a little bit of that looseness in terms of the play in the field.
Yeah.
He made a lot more plays in the outfield when nobody really anticipated him being.
I did not.
Nobody saw any of those. Those running towards the infield, diving catches. To end innings, to save runs, to stop run. Nobody saw that, and I think that kind of gave him a little window into maybe I don't have to be this all-world guy every night. If I just go out and just be me with the guys that they got around me,
yeah,
especially in this ballpark,
I'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine. But yeah, I'm anybody in Major League Baseball that you're excited to see other than the Phillies, because now you're going to see a little. With the way that the season breaks down, you're going to see a little bit of every team.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you're not used to seeing that you're excited to see? Any team?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just excited for the Phils, to be honest with you. I do like watching like random games on the MLB Network or like when everything comes on. Like something else, for some reason, always gives me like Detroit games. I'm like, why the fuck am I always watching the Tigers? I'm like, can I watch anybody else besides the Tigers? But I'm just excited to see how the league shapes out. Always excited to watch Tampa Bay because they just have a young, fun team. Their pitchers are filthy. But yeah, I really don't have any like certain person that like I'm watching or keeping an eye on. It's just fuck the Yankees and go Phils for me.
Yeah, listen, they're going to get them early in the season, so I think you're going to see it. It should be interesting. I think I'm excited to see some teams and see them play in places that I haven't played. Like I'm excited to see them play the Angels again, to be able to see Trout and Ohtani. I think it's a good thing because of how strong their division is that they maybe not play as many division games, even though those rivalry games with the Braves and Mets, and they always get played. They always play down to the Marlins, but like less of those games and more games that are spread out over MLB. I think you're going to see maybe an uptick in the win column for them.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of like playing the fucking Braves 30 times in one season. Like it's just kind of annoying. Christian Pache Phillies got him today.
So they traded.
Who the fuck is Christian Pache?
He's a guy from the A's. From what I get, Rich, it's not a huge deal. It's a bench.
Obviously, I never heard of him.
It's a bench depth guy that they traded a pitcher on the back end of the roster. He's essentially taking the slot of Rhys Hoskins. So Rhys Hoskins goes on the DL. Christian Pache takes that slot. It's outfield depth for he's a right-handed bat, but he's a guy who hovers around 200. He's not moving the needle, but he is a former top prospect from the Braves organization.
Of course. Former top prospect on his 15. Love it.
So we'll see. It's a purely upside move, right? If he pans out and has an upside and does well, it's a bonus because the guy that they traded wasn't really going to do anything for them this year.
Okay.
All right, Rich. Sixers.
Ooh.
Let's talk some Sixers. Right, they're in the final stretch. They're coming down the home stretch here. I think they got like 8 or 9 games left.
Okay.
They don't fare too well on the West Coast.
No.
Right? They go out to the West Coast. They drop games to Golden State. They drop game to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then they drop the one in Denver without Embiid and Harden. I think the thing that bothers me the most is not the fact that you knew Embiid was not going to play all 3 of those games.
Yeah.
You knew Harden was probably not going to play any of them. But the negative talk about Embiid skipping that game because he was avoiding Jokic, I don't get that at all.
I don't think that he was avoiding Jokic. I just think my man needed a night off.
Right. It was the 3rd game in 4 nights.
Yeah. I mean, I get the whole fact that we want these guys playing all the time, but yeah, playoffs are coming up and dropping a game it's not affecting our standings.
No, and you need him healthy.
And you need him healthy for the playoffs. Like,
so
we're not going to get the number 1 seed. Okay? So
we're not going to get the number 3. We're going to be the number 3 seed.
We're going to pencil us in as the number 3. Get our guys healthy and into the playoffs and pray to God that we can beat Boston. That's pretty much it. Because Boston is insane and the West Coast is loaded. So Joel Embiid is never going to win the MVP because he plays for the Sixers. We need to get that through our heads. Do I think the Sixers are going to win a championship this year? Fuck no.
No.
But we got to ride into it healthy, and hopefully something gives. And next year we get some talent.
It would only be prophetic for this calendar year that they would make it to the finals and lose.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It would be a trend.
It would follow the trend. So
it would follow the trend.
Yeah, but like, listen, right now they're 2.5 out of the second place with the Celtics, and if you look at the Celtics schedule, you're not making up essentially three games with 9 to play. So you're penciled in right now, right? And you're the 3 seed, so you'd match up with the Knicks in the first round, which
it's fine.
Doesn't mean anything, and essentially sets you up for a second round matchup with the Celtics. It does mean that in order to get out of the East, you would have to face the Celtics and the Bucks. But I think, when I look at the matchup with either one of those teams, if our guys are healthy, it's going to be an extended series, 6-7 games.
Yeah.
I think I like the idea of they match up better. As much as they've gotten their ass kicked by the Celtics, they can match up with the Celtics a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think we match up well with Milwaukee, too. I mean, their bench is just deep as shit.
Right.
So that's what's scary. But I don't know. Giannis is terrifying, but I don't know. It's weird because I don't care. I'd rather take both of them and say, hey, we just beat the 2 best teams and fuck it. Because it's essentially what's going to have to happen anyway for them to move on. So to me, give me the Celtics because they're young, and I do think, like you said, we match up a little bit better with them. But at the same time, I don't know who's beating any of the teams that are coming out in the West.
Yeah, listen, when you look at the Western
Boss lady said, "Fuck it."
There we go. Chiming in from the car.
I love it.
The car on the way home.
Basically, it. Fuck it. Just give it to me. I don't care.
Fuck
I
it.
wish I could say like, oh yeah, I'm just bring them on. Bring them on. We're gonna make it to the finals. We're gonna lose, and Embiid's not gonna win MVP because the media and the writers hate him because he plays for the Sixers. Jokic gets the last laugh. Ha 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 ha. It's like, dude, Jokic should have lost the MVP to Embiid twice. If you give it again to the white boy from Croatia or Serbia or wherever the fuck he's from, good for you. But at the same time, he's not deserving. We all know who the real MVP is. We've known who the real MVP is for the past 3 fucking years. And it's time for the Sixers organization to get their heads out of their asses and get this guy some fucking players.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think you're looking at how do I surround him with as much talent as possible.
Yeah.
I'm as much as I like what Harden has brought, and you did get the best end of that contract, considering how Ben Simmons is essentially evaporated into dust.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do in the offseason, and there's a whole summer to talk about that, but Harden is a guy that I'm going to have to think really long and hard about what that extension is and looks like. And do I want to tie myself to him for the next 2 years, 3 years? I got to see what my options are out there because I don't know.
Tobias comes off the books, baby. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, and his contract comes off the books, so you can maybe move him in a potential deal to maybe get younger at the wing and get more athletic. It's definitely something to talk about. But listen, I'm going with the boss lady. Fuck it. Go Sixers.
Go Sixers, baby.
All right, Rich. The Flyers.
This is all you, Don.
For whatever it's worth, Dave Scott retires.
Yeah. Do you want to be part of that organization?
Listen, he has done absolutely nothing but run this thing into the ground since he took over. And they are going to need, in order for this to change, they are going to need a Pat Croce-ish style guy that is going to come in and a guy that's invested in the city and invested in this team and really wants to enact change for anything to fucking happen. And let's be honest, Rich, they can't do anything right.
No.
Because in a year where, and I'm, as much as the process part of the Sixers was painful to watch, and you didn't have to intentionally lose games, but you could have put a very young, inexperienced roster together that would have put you in a better position because the top end of this hockey draft
Yeah.
has about 4 or 5 guys that could be franchise-altering guys.
Yeah.
Right? The guy Connor Bedard is getting the comparisons of the McDavids, the Crosbys, like guys that alter the next decade of your franchise. And instead of doing that, they bring in a coach that is going to make them better. And Tortorella was not if they were going to rebuild this roster, Tortorella was not the guy to bring in because he is going to make guys play better. And he's going to create more wins, which is putting you in a worse position to get that guy that could alter the trajectory of your franchise. It's so maddening because you didn't really have to do anything. All you had to really do was just put all your young guys out. And if you find out you got something out of a young guy that plays, then you got a guy that you can keep on your roster. But
what happened to Morgan Frost?
It got warm. It's just bad. It's
Bro,
bad. Like, right? Like
that's the problem with hockey, though. The problem with hockey is there's 1 or 2 good guys who come out a year, and then everybody else is fucking average or developmental prospects.
Yeah.
If you don't get the number 1 or the number 2 guy, or sometimes it's just one guy. If you don't get that guy, you suck if you don't have anything else in place. The Flyers haven't had good players since Giroux 7 years ago.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do in an organization who's still stuck in the fucking 70s and 80s? Like,
yeah.
You still have Bobby Clark, part of this organization, which is fucking atrocious. You still have, who's the other jerk off that's still a part of it?
Oh God, you got all you have all of those Broad Street Bully guys, right?
Yeah. Why are they fucking part of it?
So they
hockey has changed. Hockey has changed in 50 years. It is not the same game. The way they evaluate talent is atrocious. You don't need these giant fucking defensemen who can't skate. You need people who can fly around on the ice and skate. You need – it's hockey. I'm not even a big hockey guy. Most of the fucking good hockey players are these foreign guys from Russia, Sweden, fucking Finland. Canada is not that foreign, but if you know what I'm saying. But they're not giant guys who are fucking slow and oafy and want to hit people. They are finesse hockey players who can fly. The Sixers. The Flyers haven't had anybody who could skate in years. Yeah. And it's fucking sickening. Like Matt Reed was like one of our fastest skaters, and that guy looked terrible compared to every other fucking speedster on the ice.
And listen, we
can't play finesse hockey in today's league. You're not going to win.
The fans are also part of the problem, right? Because when they bring in guys like Tony Delorier, right, who is in that like brawler, bruiser genre, what happens with the fan base? They're going right back to their base, right? That's a guy. That's a flyer. That's a guy who's going to play Flyers hockey.
Flyers hockey won nothing.
It's going to be almost 50 fucking years before they're even relevant again. Like it's so maddening and it's so frustrating.
What is Flyers hockey? It's losing hockey. It's beating people up and losing. So that's fun. If that's what you want to see. My cousin Billy, shout out to my cousin Billy. He works for Xfinity. He texts me all the time. Have 4 free tickets. Do you want to go? And I say no. You can't pay me to go to a Flyers game to watch bad fucking hockey. I don't watch bad hockey. It's why I don't watch the Flyers. I used to watch the Flyers all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Until it became bad fucking hockey.
And Rich, think about the when that team is relevant. Playoff hockey in
I'll be dead.
But like Rich, and not just Flyers, right? But when a team in this city is productive in the playoffs, this city goes fucking bananas.
Yeah, the city supports them.
Right. That building for playoff hockey is incredible. It's packed.
Yeah.
There's no and it's loud as hell, and they are always behind this team. But like to see it now, where like they can't give tickets away. There's 8,000 people down there. It's so sad to see the state of this franchise where it is. It's just bad.
I went to a playoff hockey game when I was younger, and I think it was against the Penguins. Flyers suck.
Correct.
I think it was against the Penguins, and I was young, and I went with my dad. It was one of the best times at any game that I've ever been to.
I believe it.
So sad that it's not relevant anymore. Like, the Flyers have won from one of the most beloved teams in the city, because we were a hockey city.
Right.
To a Jesus fucking Christ. Like, sell the team, burn it down, get rid of everybody.
Yeah.
It's just not worth watching. Like, I'll tell you what, there's nothing more fun for me than watching a very good hockey game on TV. I do enjoy it when it's a good hockey game.
Oh, yeah. When it's really good. Yeah.
I can't watch. I just can't. I just think it's the constant turnovers, the bad skating. I'm over it. Like, the Flyers are the NHL equivalent of Thursday Night Football. It's on. People watch it, but they don't thoroughly enjoy it. And you always walk away upset. That is the Flyers.
Wow. That's completely accurate. Good God.
It's sad because I really wish I could get back into them, but until they make real organizational change, like AK fire all these fucking Broad Street bully boobs, get rid of all those idiots, and bring in people who know hockey and who can do something with this team and do it correctly, aka get a fucking top player, then I'll maybe. But they're not promising. They haven't been promising in like 5 years. So,
not at all. All right, Rich. Let's roll into final thoughts. What do you got?
Oh, man. Final thoughts. What do I got?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first because I'm thinking. I'm like,
so I saw something really cool. So during I always love to see and hear when the players that play professionally connect with the fans.
Yeah.
Saw something really cool from Sergio Romo. So all throughout spring training, every time a kid asked him for an autograph, he had the kid autograph his hat.
That's fun.
So the whole inside underneath of his brim is all these little kids scribble signatures. All the inside part of the whole inside part of the hat is all covered with little kid signatures, which I thought was like something so simple, but like does a great job at just connecting the fans with the players. And those kids will never forget that. They will always remember that, like, he asked me to sign his hat, which I thought was just a really cool, feel-good thing to lead into the season that just came out just at the end of spring training.
That is really cool. I can't top that. That's a good final. It's just, it's the fun part of like the players actually like enjoying it and giving back. What's an autograph? The kid gets the autograph, but it's like, oh crap, I signed his hat and he's wearing it on the field while he's playing. Like that's fucking cool. Like I wish I would have thought of that, Be like, hey, can I sign your hat, Ryan Howard? Instead of like, yeah. Then he's like always rocking my name on his hat. Like that's fucking cool. But my final thoughts is just, I don't know. I really don't have anything. I'm kind of like, dude, it's been one of those crazy weeks, man. It's just been one of those crazy weeks, crazy months, and just, just enjoying the ride. Easter's coming up. Go. You know what? Here's a good one. Support your local farms and your local like businesses who have like Easter like festivities for kids, because it's such a good time and it's a nice way to get back to like your community, especially like to your surroundings. Like, yeah, it's always nice to get like your picture taken at the mall and pay like $70 for one picture, but go out there and have fun. Like find like We Just Want to Lots of Love farm, and we had a great time, petting the pigs, the goats, the horse. Dude, they had a Patagonian Mara.
What?
Which is the relative of the capybara.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a cool little rodent thing. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, me and Ollie are like just looking at this. I'm like, and Jamie's like, all right, let's go look over here. I'm like, no. And I walked in. I'm like, excuse me, I have a question for you. She was like, this girl was like, yeah. I'm like, is that a capybara? And she was like, no, it's and the girl's like, it's a Patagonian mara. And I'm like, she's like, it's a relative of the capybara, but it's found in like Tasmania. And I'm like, it's fucking cold out here.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's tropical climate. But like, dude, they had deer. Like the deer came up and like one of the deers licked my hand, and like the pigs, we were like petting the pigs. Dude, there's these big ass fucking steer, and I'm like feeding it, and its tongue's like licking my hand for like sandpaper. I'm like, yo, these things are cool as shit. But yeah, go out there and support your your local things for when it comes like to festivities for like different holidays, and it's fun. I'm gonna take Ollie to my work on Sunday. They're doing a Easter egg hunt. So
nice.
I'm up there and do it. But Don, fun thing, I missed it because I was a little late getting home today. But guess what was on the tree in my backyard that hangs over my backyard?
What?
A fucking bald eagle.
No.
Yeah.
Get out.
My dad was like, dude, he's like, it was fucking huge and it was cool. Mind you, he's got the dogs outside. I'm like, Dad, you might want to let the little one back in.
Yeah.
But no, it was like, my dad's like, dude, he's like, dude, I pulled up to the house and Shar and your neighbor across the street are out just like staring in the sky. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. He's like, fucking crazy. I don't know. And they're like, hey, Ollie, look, come over here. So Ollie goes and runs to my neighbor and she like picks him up, even though she didn't have to. But Shar loves Ollie. I love Shar. She's like, look at the tree. And he's like looking around. He's like, oh, my dad's like, holy fuck. He's like, dude, right on that branch that overlooks your backyard. He's like, this bald eagle was sitting there and it was fucking huge. I'm like, and you didn't take a fucking picture?
No one took a picture?
Like, I love birds. Like, Jamie got me a bird feeder that I'm going to put on my window, like down here. And the birds can fly in and it's clear and you can see it. Like, It's like a U shape. It sits inside of the house. But it actually sits like on outside of the window. But yes, I do want one of those too. Like the one where you can like push the window down and like seals and you can see the birds on the inside. Yeah. But that would not fly because if a bird came on the inside and like Ruhr Callie's there, they're pushing that shit out the window and they're going to get it. But it's like a clear bird house that just sticks on the window and they go in.
Okay.
So you can see them.
But I saw one that has a camera built into it. So every time that the bird comes to the bird feeder, it activates the camera, takes a picture, so you can keep track of the different types of birds that are coming, which I thought was pretty cool.
And I love, like, that's my thing. Like, it's weird saying I like bird watching, but I do. I find birds, like, fascinating. Ever since I was a kid, like, I always had, like, an encyclopedia of birds. And, like, we're walking through, like, the woods. I'm, like, calling out the birds' names. James like, how do you know that? I'm like, I know a lot of useless shit. I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome.
The golden finch, it's the state bird of New Jersey. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We're going to keep going.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, it's a bald eagle.
That's awesome.
That's all I got.
Very cool. All right, brother, take us home.
All right, guys. Well, you stuck around. You fucked around. You found out. We had a good time. We enjoy you, Philly. But as always, it's fuck Deshaun Watson. It's fuck Spike Eskett. It's fuck the Dallas Cowboys. It's fuck Davion Taylor. And it's a huge fuck you to Ben Simmons because that's hilarious. And I think that's all the fucks I have to give. So we're done. I'm Rich. That's Don. We're drunk on broad. Shout out to Mike and the boys. Shout out to Dom raising his blood pressure. Congratulations, guys. The stream's going well. The network's going well. And let's keep on keeping on, baby. Philly, we love you.
That's right. Peace out. Later.
Peace out. Girl Scout.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Call 267-405-3062 and show us your passion for Philly sports. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.
Hey, listen to this guy. Tell me how you're feeling here. You're screaming.
I am stoked, baby.
You're screaming like it's still the game going on.
We're talking about the fightings here. The fightings. Said.
Should...